Hopefully, that would be the last interruption. At least the last interruption for today. Um, but yeah, I did notice. I'll wait for people to come back. Take three, I guess. This is getting to be annoying. But I am just showing these plants that I am giving away to Sharon. Sorry, folks, I got my call out of the way, so now I should be okay for a minute at least. But these are the plants that I'm going to send to Sharon. Of course, this is my tore down Silagene Rishishinii that, she wants them, so she's going to have them. It does have that growth coming out there. This is a plant that has never done anything for me. Dream Circle. And then I'm going to throw that one in, and I'm going to do all of these. My Thrissiflorum, this Kiku, I'm going to even throw that in. Even though it's got nice new growth on it, and I'm going to throw those into my Patnara Hoku gem, which came from Chadwick and Sons. Patnara Hoku gem. Scale and all, she wants them. I'm going to keep this, but this likes a little bit of a frost. This is my Delicatum, which just came back to life at the end of the season. And I'm keeping this. This is my Cymbidium alliifolium. That is okay. It's got a few new growths still, so it'll stay out here till frost. But other than that, everything else is going away to Sharon. Thank you, Sharon. That's my Orchid up here. They like a little bit less water in the wintertime. So, and I just saw another angricoid over here. Since we were talking about that, well, we were talking about organization, really. And this is something that I need to move. This is another one of my Psychilus. They like highlight, they do like it pretty much dry in the winter. Believe it or not, that's alive. But I'm going to move it down to the other end where it's a little bit cooler and it gets less water and it gets more light. This over here really just gets afternoon sun because it doesn't get anything between here and there, just dappled pretty much. Here's some more angraecums over here. Actually, I am really happy with everything, folks. Really, really happy. I did just walk past that, but I did smell it. It smells so good. And believe it or not, a plant that I'm trying to kill that really is only used as a hanger. It's just hanging, it's just holding my Gatson Sunray, my Dendrobium Gatton Sunray. And it's a Silagene Silagene, you know what that is. Cochleata, is that what it is? Silagene citrina. Silagene, I forget. Cochleata, that's what it is. But you can see it's formed two new buds. I mean, not buds, but bulbs. We'll see. I can't believe that. I am not doing anything with that. I don't water it. It just sits there. Okay, so this is my Angræcum florenculum, which is reputedly the most fragrant Angræcum. It did bloom. Of course, I got this from Orchid Trail, and it was in bloom when I got it. And it has continued to put out leaves from the top of both sections, so that's nice. Just give you a look at the tag. It's florenculum, and above here is another angræcoid. This is I think it's called Christmas cactus, and I don't know where my tag is, but it is Angræcum Linford White Beauty that's crossed with Magdalena. So it's Linford White Beauty crossed with Magdaleni, and I have a couple Magdalenais. But yeah, my Schilleriana is, well, this one is the best that I've ever had. I've tried it two or three times before, someone had asked. This is the first time that I've ever had it to where it's putting out new leaves and then the bottom leaf, it would be like putting out one leaf here and then the bottom one would fall. So now it's got four decent leaves and nice roots. So I'm hoping that I'll get a spike. This is my Cornicervi, the fantastic one that's got a new leaf coming up. So I'm really hoping for that. That was a little kiki that I potted up. Um, Let me see. That's another one of my glaucas. It's a different clone. I think that's Waltzman. And that's a newly mounted. Uh, Used to be in a pot, and I mounted it, so it's kind of recovering. Um, what else can I show you? What else was I gonna show you? What's going on up in here? Um, I mean, here's another angricoid, but it's a little seedling. But yeah, things are looking great. I can't complain at all. Yeah, I think I might have to move this. And what did I do with? I set that thing down. The when I was down here. What did I do with the? See, I'm mumbling to myself, folks. I'm not crazy. Here we go. I was gonna move this down to the other end. There's a rhyme to my. There's a reason and a rationale to my mumbling, and I need to hang this in a better spot as well. Wish I could hang it somewhere around here, but I'm just gonna hang this here now. This needs a better spot. This is one of my Laturiadens, and it needs a lot of water, warmth, but I'm gonna find a better spot for that. This one, I'm just gonna hang it here next to that one. These are brothers, different species, but same genus. So yeah, my Docrillas like less water. I'm liking the fact that I'm still seeing roots, still seeing those green tips, which is very promising. In the past, I was, generally this time of the year or when it starts to get cooler, and we've already had a little bit of a frost here. Those are generally that's when I see a big halt in growth, but and that includes the roots generally for me, just a transition from outside to inside, from rainwater to, I try to give them as much rainwater as I can, but of course I'm using just the hose for the most part. I don't use the hose at all in this area right here. I don't use it at all, and I just knock something down out of the pot. But I'll deal with that later because it wasn't a big deal. But yeah, it's just better organized, and also a big thing was that I got a lot of things out of pots and in on mounts. Like there's some bulbophyllums that I put on mounts, or just putting a pot in with a hook on it to hang it up. That really helped me save space to put things that I needed to have in pots, if that makes any sense. Wish this would bloom. That is my highly anticipated BLC Yong Kong Sung. But it could just be a blind sheath. That happens too. There is my, well, we know what that is, and you can see the roots. Another Natalia mount. This is, of course, my, we know, it's my Aikido Sato. And there's no sheath or anything in there, but I'm still very happy with the size of that growth and all of the roots. Even though there is no sign of a bloom coming, but we will see. Yeah, this is my grandiose. This suffered too. These like everyday water in the summer, and when I left in the summer, it lost a few leaves. You can see some of these dried up pieces down at the base. Used to have leaves on them, but I still have a few, and these are all bloom size. So you can see here's a spent spike. So hopefully, that's my Scotianum that's mounted. Up here is a Cattleya that I got that I mounted again. Well, it's not really mounted, but hopefully someday those roots will attach to that, and then I'll cut it in half. But it put up that sheath right there. So I am very, very happy, folks. Very happy. Here's my Laturia that I got from Sharon. I think it's going to be just fine. I know it's going to be just fine. I mean, it looks kind of haggard right now, but it's just been recently repotted. It'll be just fine. Oh, okay. Yeah, there's been several attempts to make this video, unfortunately, because I was getting phone calls, and then unfortunately my Wi-Fi is just effed. But I'm back again, so we'll see how long I stay on. I was showing at the beginning of this video, Sharon, I was showing you, hey Yoshi, I was showing the plants that I was going to send over to you. That's what I was doing before at the beginning of the video. Well, see, I figured out what the problem was. I'm back. But the problem is for some reason, my cellular is not on. That's why when I go this way, my Wi-Fi cuts out. Usually my cellular clicks on, but my cellular is zero. So that's the thing. I need to move this. This is my Guatemalensis. You remember that one? That is supposedly the Guatemalensis alba crossed with another one. And it did blast one growth, but it's putting up another one right there. And it's already got this nice one with a sheath. I might move this one down in that area with all the other resting ones. And there's my Anceps that still has that spike going right there. And I'm really happy about that. That's my other Nindi, Dendrobium Nindi, with that new growth that has roots. So yeah, there's some things going on. Things are happening. Things are happening. Yeah, and I'm really, really happy with, I am almost sure, I'm probably not going to be able to show it, but this, I think, maybe I was seeing things, but for some reason when I was hanging this back up, I had to hang this up with a chain because it kind of, what kind of a seedling are you referring to? There's, and bear in mind, a seedling in my care takes probably a little bit longer than a seedling in somebody else's care. Like for instance, if I were in Florida, seedlings would grow up a little bit faster because you can leave them outside. You don't have to, change them and put them inside an artificial environment. You can just leave them out where they're at year round. So I think they grow faster. But my perenniae is really, really. It's got 3 more spikes coming. And I swear that one next to this one on the right here, that is my, what is it? It's my Crazy Arachno that I saved a piece for myself. It used to be on a huge big cork mount. And I believe that might have a flower spike coming out of it, I think. But some of these others, I mean, you can see, look at those roots on that. Those are very thick roots. as opposed to some of these others. Cattleya. It really just depends on the growing conditions, to be honest. I would say most say, and it really depends on the cattleya. Um, honestly, in Florida, I would say probably from seedling size, which is like this seedling size, to bloom size, which might be this size for that plant. This would be bloom size for that plant that I just showed you. I would say probably 3 years. And 3 years, that's probably how long I got, because I got this plant when it was probably this. No, I think it might have been this big. It was this big when I got this plant, and it took 3 years because I've repotted this a couple times since. No, I've only repotted it once. It's due for a repot. You can see how those roots are just taking over. I can't even set that down on the ground. But I'm waiting on it to bloom. Hopefully that answered your question. It's a hard question to answer though, because, but in Florida, like I said, this would be a seedling size. To get it from that size to blooming in Florida, probably the third season, I would say, in Florida. In my care, it might take a year or maybe even 2 years longer, to be honest, because Florida gets the rain, and the light and the heat. We get the heat in the summer, and then we get the cold, and so you kind of have to bring them in. Whereas in Florida, you really don't have to. I mean, you have to give them mild protection, not really like what I do. So hopefully that answered your question. So yeah, that's that little big lip that I got last week at Trader Joe's. Well, it was this week. I should just take it off of this hoop thing. Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, I agree. How's your spike going, Yoshi, on yours? I noticed mine has a new growth right here. That's my Phimatocylum oncidium. I don't really care for the color of those pseudobulbs, but oh, anytime, anytime. But I'll deal with them. This one's still doing pretty well, this leptotes. And I believe that one of these new growths has what I would call the makings of like a sheath. And it looks like this growth. But anyway, it's growing and I'm happy. You can tell the new growths because of the lighter color. And there's another one that's coming up that way. So that's another one that I got from Orchid Trail. I'm just so glad that I was able to, for the most part, keep those plants healthy and doing well. But yeah, I should get off of here and get some stuff done because I've got some cleaning to do, and I've got. I think I'm pretty caught up with my orchids. I'm gonna fertilize and just sort of dunk some and let them sit while I go in and do my work. But yeah, that's what's going on with me and my orchids. Have you got it to bloom yet, your nodosa? I would say if it hasn't, well, I would try giving it more light if it doesn't. My nodosas or my versavalas, they all sit as high as I can put them. I mean, you can see here how high they are. So yeah, I would up the light if you can. I would. I mean, I would do it gradually, depending on what your conditions are. Don't put them out in full sun immediately. Gradually push them out. They'll let you know if they are getting too much light. They'll turn. They'll get a suntan. They'll turn dark. But as long as their leaves stay this color green, oh yeah, you should be able to get nice sun there. I would just leave them outside and until until it gets cold, too cold. I would. My Brassavolas never bloom for me, to be honest, until I put them outside. Honestly, and I always heard Brassavola nodosa was the first one that I got, and I never bloomed it until I put it outside, probably 30 years later. Can you believe that? That's funny. That is a true story. I had it in my collection. It grew, but it never bloomed until I put it outside 20 years later. So that's a story for you. For all the years that I had this space, I thought that it would be getting enough sun, but just between them being here versus being out there, it makes the world of difference. It really does. I never understood that, but I do now. I do now. But yeah, things are doing okay. I really probably need to put this in more shade, um, because this likes shade. Really, I can't believe you. I can't believe you, Denise. I bet you've been blooming nodosa since you were a toddler. But what's your story? And then I'm gonna get off of here. But I appreciate you all being here. Yep, so fragrant over here, but it's the Bellinas. Actually, this is probably fragrant as well. This is the little, I think somebody else has this. 6 year old, usually. Wow. You must have got it when was it out of flask? It had to be because you are a master, Denise. Now I can't find the tag on this. Oh, wow. That's a shocker. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I tell you, once oh, okay, bag baby. Well, that's explainable. That's explainable. They take a little while. They do take a while. So, with that, folks, I think I've shown you most everything. I'm really happy with this as well. This is a little seedling. Speaking of seedlings, this is a seedling of, if I can get to it, LC Tropical Pointer Cheetah. And it's got that new growth back there. You can see it right here. That's maturing. But that is a bucket list orchid. I'm sure everybody in here knows Cheetah, Tropical Pointer. So that's exciting. That is exciting. But yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. And welcome to everybody new that joined my live and new that is here today. And everybody, as always, enjoy your orchids. Bye.